Good afternoon. This is Media Center Ukraine, Odessa. We continue for today. Now we are having with us Michel Armand, director of the Free Air School, where military UAV operators are taught. Michel, the floor is yours. Our school was founded in April 2022. As of December, we trained around 5,000 servicemen and representatives of Ukrainian law enforcement bodies. Our program envisages a week training, 5 days, and covers practical and theoretical issues. We train servicemen and also representatives of state emergency service. The training is free of charge, but we don't provide food and accommodation. Even if the person has never seen or operated UAV, they can learn how to do this from the scratch. Usually, our students need express training because in a week they usually should be on the front line and operate UAVs there. We are also proud with our trainers. We don't have killed or injured UAV operators for the whole period of functioning of our school. You mentioned 5,000 trainees. This is a huge number. Worried professional servicemen that wanted to retrain, or were that volunteers who joined the armed forces of Ukraine and wanted to become UAV operators from the scratch. These are different people. I would like to emphasize that military and civilians UAV operators are different. Even those who knew how to operate UAVs in civilian life, for example, when they shot weddings or birthdays, understood that they needed different experience for military UAVs. As far as I understand, you have a UAV fleet for training. Others, civilian UAVs like Mavics or some other devices. Since April to September, we provided our own UAVs for training, but now, thanks to volunteers, thanks to the army of UAVs, people now have their own UAVs to train. Sometimes they're really great. And actually, quite often we see announcements on social media raising money to buy UAVs. How do you see from your training, is it easier for people who undergo training in your school to find money to buy UAVs? Actually, it's not a surprise that this money raising is ongoing, because it is very easy to have a UAV lost or damaged. Sometimes they can even freeze because the conditions for operation are quite severe for DJI or Mavics. Yes, we're supported by volunteers. We don't provide our own UAVs to the police officers, to the servicemen, or to the representatives of the state emergency service for constant use. But after getting certificate from our school, people can apply to get free drone. But of course it takes time, and usually people don't have this time because they need UAVs here and now, and that's where they can use support of volunteers. Not all 100% trainees at your school can get certificates from your school. So you also test them, and you somehow guarantee their knowledge and skills. Yes, I've already mentioned that we are proud that all our operators are safe and sound. This is due to the fact that we tell a lot about safe operation of UAVs, because our pilots never work alone. They work at least in pair, so they support and help each other. So there is a first and second operator usually. So one can operate UAV and another corrects the operation. They can change their roles. We always test and check our trainees. So whether they are really representatives of the military unit which apply for training in our school. We have tests to check if they have any skills for operation, but quite often we have people who have no skills at all. But usually in 2-3 days we can see if a person can become a successful operator. And if we see that a person does not have enough skills and knowledge, we don't provide the certificate of our school. We have different outside tests, but there are also tests developed by our instructors, and this also can influence whether the person can get certificate or not. And I would like to give floor to our colleagues here. Good afternoon. My name is Vyacheslav Voloshenko. Resource Huberski Tyżdeń. I have numerous questions to you. The first question, how did you work before the war? We did not exist before the war. We founded our school in April because of the huge demand. The second question, how much time does it take to train in the field? We have practical tasks. The first day is dedicated to theory, because, as I've already mentioned, people should need different skills to operate UAVs in peaceful time or on the front line. And that's why we need to train our operators to operate drones safely. But all our students or all our trainees can test and try to operate drones in the field. So there is a combination of theory and practice. Do you envisage any courses for journalists? Until our victory, we don't plan to train civilians, and journalists are usually civilians. If there is a need, a unit expecting a journalist to join them can apply to our school, but we have not had any of such experience. And would like to emphasize that no civilian drones can be operated. Who are your trainers? What experience do they have? Are they practitioners or not? These are both military and civilians. Do you have enough of trainers? No, because now we have a lot of requests, and we try to form small groups for all trainees to get the full information and the full attention from our instructors. I have a question to the curriculum. Because, of course, there is a difference when you operate drone in peaceful times when nobody tries to dawn it, and of course when you do this on the front line close to the enemy. They're so-called matrices. Unfortunately, we don't have in our school, but some trainees, they join our school with these matrices, and we're trying to combine our groups to have as many drones as possible. What is a mattress? This is a DJI Matrix. They are huge, they are great, and they are very loud. And of course, there is some specifics in terms of operating such big drones, because our operators should make it invisible and unheard. We always try to train our operators under harsh weather conditions, especially when it's windy, because you should be able to operate a UAV even if it's windy, even if there is no connection with the satellite. So we provide all these conditions during our training. We have our own programs provided by our school and software, which helps to fulfill tasks. And of course, our operator should have physical skills, how to get to a drone and how to launch it. How do you raise awareness about your school? Through the trainees that have already undergone the training in our school and have been certified. Do we have any other questions? If you allow the question, what is your personal path to this school? Were you related somehow to UAVs? Before that, I was a journalist. A wide-range journalist. I knew how to shoot, how to operate drone. I used to work at a TV station. So when the full-scale war started, I offered my services as an instructor. But then I met people who had more experience in training, in operating, and I became a manager of the process. Now I know two persons, managers of such air schools. I have a question to you. One of the websites provides information that you are going to train civilian operators since January 2023. Is it true for now? No. These are the skills that should be maintained all the time. But no civilian operators can operate UAVs now. And now there is an issue considered to ban civilians from using UAVs, because we can see them with our equipment and the special services look for the people. Unfortunately, we are not training civilians before our victory. I would like to share my experience. I know that journalists, they still launch drones if it's agreed with the special forces. And I understand the question now of my colleague, because there is still the need, journalists still need to be trained to properly operate drones in Kharkiv or Kherson, which are heavily shelled. So such cases happen. A military unit provides permission to launch a civilian UAV. And we can also make a request. We provide serial numbers, and when we can just track and trace UAVs with our equipment, we know for sure that these are our operators. That was Michel Armand, the director of the Free Air School. If journalists are interested in this volunteer initiative, we will be more than happy to provide contacts of our today's guest. And you will be able to get more details from Michel about the school, because drones in the Russia-Ukraine war is a very important topic starting from the 2014. That was Michel Armand, director of the Free Air School. Stay tuned. We will be back to you tomorrow.